Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we have a very cool review impressions of a knife that was given to me by Kizer, and something that'll probably be part of our giveaway. So yeah, let's take a look. All right, so today we're doing impressions of the Kizer Dogfish. Very, very cool knife. Thank you to Kizer for sending this into the channel to review and then ultimately to be part of a giveaway. I'm super excited about that. This is a cool little knife. It has definitely got a unique aesthetic, but so many nice ergonomic functional features that I'm kind of digging it. I love all the little touches on here. There are things that I find important and useful in a knife. I don't have a whole lot of button locks. I have, I think, one button lock in my collection right now. It's my Mordax from ProTech. A lot of my other button locks have seemed to, I just never carried them. But this is cool. This is a really cool, and let me just say up front, I like button locks. Button locks are a great knife for new people who are just getting into knives and they're not sure how to work a frame lock or a liner lock. And they're also great knives for someone who maybe have little strength issues with their hands and working frame locks and liner locks and things like that. And so I know a button lock can be fantastic for that because you can work it in multiple ways, right? So I think that's cool. So I like button locks as a new knife for new people or people who, you know, are limited in the strength and how to work a knife. So to me, I'm a fan of them. I don't think a button lock is going to be something you want to chop woods with. You want to go out and cutting woods and logs and stuff like that. This is not a beat up kind of knife. It does have a plunge lock system, and for that, I think it is not a rough, hard beat up knife kind of a locking mechanism. My personal opinion. I think it'll do an outstanding job for regular, everyday EDC use. I just think you got to be cautious with that, right? Because vibration on this could eventually disengage that lock, right? Once you clear that, and if it's enough vibration causing it, it could disengage. So otherwise, a button lock is fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. It's solid. It's in there really great. As long as you're doing everyday cutting tasks, you know, boxes, dog food, cat food, fertilizer, mulch, things like that. It's absolutely fantastic. So in that regard, I will tell you that I think it is something definitely worth your time and something definitely worth enjoying and using as far as that. All right, so let's talk about it. The name of the knife is the Dogfish. The manufacturer is Kizer. I believe this is it an in-house design? No, Dogfish. Dogfish is the design. Man, I'm gonna have to look that up because I thought I remembered that. Give me just a second. All right, so the designer is Caleb Waldman. Caleb Waldman is the designer of this for the Dogfish. So I thought I read that, and so just want to give credit there. He's the designer. Kizer is the manufacturer. The name is the Dogfish, which I think is kind of a cool name for the knife. The materials. This is Nitro-V blade steel. It is Cerakoted. It's kind of polished. It almost looks like a DLC, but it's not. I think this is pretty much PVD. The scale itself is Green G10. Like an OD Green G10. It is a button lock mechanism, which is a plunge lock, but the plunge lock is inside the blade, which is cool. It has a steel deep pocket carry clip that is reversible. I like that. So it's left hand, right hand tip up only. It has multiple deployments. Steel liners on the inside with weight relief. You can see that. It's not a lot of cutout weight and steel relief. So that makes this knife particularly easy to open and close. I like that as well. So very, very cool. What else about the knife? I like that there's a G10 backspacer. It's nice and rounded all the way across. Beautiful radius texturing, so it makes that nice and grippy for the G10, but not overly aggressive, so it does work going in and out of the pocket. I like that. It has that little goofy clip thing there. I'm not a fan of that, but that's okay. It still works. It's a little thin on here, so if you got really thick pockets, it's going to stretch out a little bit, but it's steel, so at least the screws are fully recessed and not sticking up, which is nice, right? Here's the front. You have a front, nice jimping up there for a nice front flip. You can do an over-the-top flipping. And then you have the reverse flicking over here as well. And then, of course, you have the fuller here, or thumb hole, that works both left, right, and handed. Now, some people may think it's a little small, but you can get in there. Then you have the bonus with the button lock. So you really have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 ways to open this knife. So this is absolutely a multiple deployment dream in that regard. It's very fidgety. So it's nice. And it does engage lock really well with that plunge lock. With the button lock, it does work really well. And when it drops, it doesn't bounce, which means it does catch it really well. It's got almost a little sing to it, a little song. You can hear that when you open it sometimes. I did it earlier. Of course, now I can't do it. Anyways, so very cool. Open and closing, obviously, I've talked about that, how it closes. I've talked about its caged ceramic ball bearings in there, or ball bearings at least. Caged bearings. The blade, we talked about that. It is sort of a drop point, I would say. It looks like it's crowned on the top. It's got some nice jimping here, which does allow you to go in. You have a nice generous finger choil. You can definitely choke up. I've got large hands with big meaty fingers, so extra large hands with regular size fingers, double extra large hands with smaller fingers. You've got about this much room, so that tells me probably a extra large, double extra large, big meaty fingers hands. You're gonna have plenty of room. It's definitely give you a lot of grip area, so that's nice. I do enjoy that. We'll get into the measurements here in a little bit of a second. What else? Let's do some measurements on this guy. Let's see how much it weighs. And let me get my calendar, my scale calendar. Wow, I don't need that. All right, so we're looking at 3 ounces for the blade, so that's not bad at all. 3 ounces is pretty good. I'm gonna power that off. There we go, 3 ounces for the blade. And let's look at the overall length of the knife here itself. So we're looking at a knife that is approximately 7.5, probably about 7.5 inches total length. Your grip area, if you're in here, it's about 3.5. But if you use that whole choke up, you got 3/8 of an inch. So there's plenty of room. The blade length itself, it's going to be about 3.1/8 of an inch. But the overall cutting length of the blade, let's look at that. The overall cutting length of the blade is just under 3 inches. Looks like 2.98 inches, somewhere around there. So there you go. All right, let's look at the blade stock thickness, because it doesn't seem like it's overly thick, right? So we're going to look at that. What are we looking at here? We are at 118 thousandths of an inch, so it's not super crazy thick. 118 thousandths of an inch is not bad. It's not super thick, but it's not super thin. Definitely will be a nice slicer. There's not really a swedge, but it does come down to a pretty thin edge. The edge looks pretty nice and sharp. It works really well. So I haven't done a whole lot with this knife. This was given to me. I want to make it a giveaway. I don't do destruction tests. So if you're coming to this channel going, oh, let's see your destruction test. How many, logs did you chop down? How many pine trees did you cut down with your knife? I don't do that. Wrong channel, okay? I carry and use the knife like I do, like probably 98% of the rest of the world, right? We in the pocket, cut boxes, dog food, cat food, fertilizer, mulch, cases of water, mail, stuff like that, right? Strings, small stuff like that, that's about it. So, but I like a good knife and I enjoy a good knife. And this is a really nice budget knife. Definitely falls into the budget category. So what's the cost of it? So my budget category is under $100. And this knife is listed at $79 with Kizer. You can probably find it a couple of places cheaper, find it on sale, and you can get it even cheaper, but it's an $80 knife. And to me, for what you get and the quality and how well it works, it's a pretty darn good deal. It really is. To me, this is a really nice knife. Around that same realm is like Leon Ma, some of his eutectic lines. Those are around the same price. And I feel like this is very comparable to that. Okay, so this is like that realm where you've got a lot of finishes and fit and finishes in a budget knife that makes it just a little more premium of a budget knife that you don't find in the real ultra cheap, and I say cheap, inexpensive, like $30, $40 kind of range, maybe even sub $30 range budget knives. This is definitely one of those that you feel like you're getting something for the $80. You really are. And if you go to like White Mountain Knives and it's listed for $79 there, and you get it with the 10% off using RNK10, and if it's in stock, then hey, it's even cheaper, right? So there you go. I like that. I like that. So it's definitely budget. So is it EDC, hard use, and collection piece? Well, I say any budget knife is not a collection piece as far as I'm concerned, but you can collect whatever you want. It is your collection. It's up to you. I don't think it is. As far as hard use, it is a hard use knife as far as a button lock is concerned. I'm always cautioned with the button lock. I don't treat a button lock like a frame lock or a liner lock or a fixed blade or an axe. It is a button lock. It's a plunge lock. It's a spring that pushes down into kind of an angle place, and if too much vibration, it can move. And so if you're planning to go out there and chop, 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 chop and do something crazy like that, then you need a different knife. Use the right tool for the right job, right? I say get a fixed blade, get an axe, whatever. Don't, but as far as a button lock, it's great for opening boxes, working around the desk, cutting things in the house, opening boxes, opening packaging, opening containers, things like that, cutting strings. This is absolutely fantastic as far as I'm concerned. This will be a great deal. All right, so yeah, I think it's a great EDC knife, and hard use as far as button locks can go, yes. All right, ergos and feel overall, handle, everything. All right, so I like the ergos and feels. This is unique, it's different. It's not always my cup of tea, but this works for a budget knife. And I tell you, if you got someone who really digs this look, this is gonna be a great alternative. If you know someone who likes this kind of geometry and stuff, it's be a great gift. And I love finding budget knives where I can give it away for people's first knife. You know, recommend a first knife. This is a way better place to start than I did. This is a way better nice knife to start if you're getting into knives and stuff like that. This will get you off on the right foot with a decent, safe, solid knife. The handles are really nice. The flipper works well. It's nicely contoured around. There's nothing sharp. I don't feel anything digging into me or cutting into me or anything like that. I can reach all the way around. I can choke up. It works really well. I can just squeeze test, all that stuff, left and right hand. I will say, you know, there is a chance you can disengage the lock over here if you grip it kind of weird. But with the way I grip it, I'm usually not going to be anywhere close to it if I do left-handed. So just, you know, just keep that in mind. Always keep that in mind. You don't want to put any pressure on that. Yeah. So overall, opening, I've got so many deployment methods that I love it, right? For me, that's great. And the overall feel of overall opening and closing, I like it. It's very smooth. It's very, you know, fidgety. I think if you even wanted to get it to be a little fancy, you could put some skiff cage bearings in there. Definitely would work, but to me, it's great as it is as a budget knife. I don't think so. So all that being said, what is the fidget factor on this? This one's going to be kind of knock me off my socks kind of fidget factor, because I've got a flipper, I've got a front flipper, I've got a fuller thumb hole, and then I've got the button lock itself, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? We can do all that. And we can do 7 if you want to kind of do it that way too. And then we can do it all reverse here as well. So, I mean, man, I don't know how you can get any higher. Fidget factor, it's a 1 to 10 scale. I'm like at a 9.5. I cannot, I'm sure there's one way to make it just a little bit higher. I've given a 10 before, and it had probably another extra feature somewhere there. But this is really close. So 9.5, 9.6, 9.7, rounded up to 10. So let's give it a 10. Fidget factor with a rounding is a 10. So that's solid. That's solid. Now, fidgety goodness, as far as every one of those things, honestly, every one of these things works flawlessly. It's executed really well. I cannot knock it. I can't see anywhere where it doesn't work left-handed, where I'm uncomfortable, right? I can get in there. Everything works. You know, even here, left-handed, I can do this. I mean, everything works really nice. Of course, I'm not left-handed, so I look a little challenged there trying to work it left-handed, but it's really outstanding. So I'm going to give this 100%. 100%, especially with the range, the budget, the focus of where it's at. It's 100%. So, overall thoughts, final thoughts. Is it recommended? Absolutely, this is recommended. 100% recommend. I think this is a great budget knife. Very, very good knife for your consideration. I think if you're in the under $100 range, if you're on the under $80 range, 79, this is a really, really nice thing. And if you go to, White Mountain Knives, get your 10% off, you'll take your, what is it, $8 off, and now it's $72. So now you're in the $72 range, and a lot of people's budget range is under 75. So, I mean, it's a great deal. You're getting a lot for the fit, form, finish of this knife. I think it's really, really worth considering. So I like it. I like it a lot. I think you're going to like it a lot. So that's my overall thoughts on this, as far as recommendation. Love to hear your thoughts. Love to hear your comments on this, what you think about the knife. I'm always interested and to hear back from everyone about that. So yeah, let me know. Give me your thoughts. Give me your comments. Definitely would love to hear that. Also, hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, or informative, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button, would you please consider hitting the subscribe button? Subscribing and liking the videos really helps out the channel, allows the channel to produce more content, do more things, ultimately do more things for you guys. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who watches the videos, who likes the videos, who enjoys the content, who's part of the channel, who part of the live streams. I appreciate you so very much. And if you haven't already, hit that notification button down below so you can be notified of future content like this video. Also, a big thank you to the channel members. Appreciate you guys. You encourage me. You also, you're so generous. And because you're so generous, I want to be generous back to you. And so I do two very nice things for the channel members. I do a once a month members exclusive giveaway, and I make sure all the channel members, brand new channel members, have a channel member sticker. If you've never had one before and you became a channel member, I want you to get a sticker. Email me with your name and address. If you were a channel member all along and you've never asked me for a channel member sticker, or if you were a channel member then became a channel member again, but you never asked me for a sticker, email me also with your name and address. I'd love to mail you a sticker. But that once a month members giveaway is usually a very exclusive knife. It's not just a budget knife. This would be a budget knife, and this would be a great once a week regular giveaway. But the channel member sticker, the channel members giveaway is usually very nice. So if that interests you, and you'd like to support the channel, please don't ever feel obligated, but if you'd like to, there's a link down below in the description for the 3 different tiers. I'd be humbled and honored if you did. Also, if you haven't already, check me out over on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.